for women. Sex for women is emotional attachment, it is relational, it is not transactional, and is not purely physical. For whatever reason, the way men were designed and wired, sex, they could have sex with 9 people over 2 weeks and just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's completely different for young women. And so we
Okay.
have.
Welcome to my channel where the art of debate meets the cool side of commentary. I am your host, The Performance. Today we'll be checking out a video by Charlie Kirk titled Charlie Kirk Proves Easy Women Create Weak Men. And we'll be checking out some comments from people in America and all over the world on their opinion about Charlie Kirk. Let's check it out. Go.
Hi, I have to film this, so can I give my friend my phone after I ask? Okay, thank you. So with the rise of like red pill content creators, such as like men like Nick Fuentes or Andrew Tate, you know, yeah. Well, what is your opinion on Gen Z men idolizing these influencers and influencers like them? And as yourself are a conservative influencer in some way, do you think that they're like them and their followers are justified in what I would say extreme beliefs? Because you know they can tend to skew to an extremity. But do you think that they are justified? And even then, with those beliefs, do you think that in a way they are tainting other people's view of the conservative community?
It's a good question. Look, young, I have a great heart for young men that have grown up in a toxically feminine society that has told them that it's a problem that they exist and that they don't understand anything about male human development. They don't understand anything about what a 13, 14, or 15-year-old boy needs, how they grow, how they're largely immature and hyper-physical, and they know nothing about actually how to turn boys into men. The large, like, basically, the pedagogical monopoly, which means just pedagogy, you know, educational monopoly, has no idea how to turn boys into men. Here's my advice. I always try to point to the scriptures as to the best way to turn boys into men. And the best way to turn boys into men, very simply, is to restrain your impulses, do something adventurous, confront evil, stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves, and save yourself unto marriage and find one sexual partner for your life. That's where I lose a lot of people. And in fact, I believe marriage is a moral good for yourself and for society. I think we engage way too much in the flesh. We drink too much. We do too many drugs. We have hookup culture. We watch too much pornography. It's always about instant gratification, where we as men, we enjoy the difficult and the adventurous, but it should be for noble and righteous purposes. And so, insofar as someone's advocating for that, I'll agree with it. Otherwise, I would say that not so much.
Okay.
One more. Okay. So other than like your advice to young men, what do you think that us as a society could do to kind of steer young boys and Gen Z men to like a better path than this like very indulgent lifestyle of like constantly getting girls and like using women for.
Well, and can I just interrupt you for a second? It goes both ways. So on the other side, radical feminism tells girls to get as many sexual partners as you can, to go sow your oats. And basically what the feminists have done is like every 19-year-old boy's dream, is that every girl is easy and accessible, and you don't have to work to go get sex. In the way it should be, a boy should have to become a very mature, very sophisticated person to get to the point of sex. So the boy doesn't have to grow up to get what he wants anymore. And so a lot of this is on women who have basically become pseudo OnlyFans models, going around selling themselves for basically for no price whatsoever, because free sex will liberate you. Let me say this as gently as I can. Free sex drives young women insane. The more sexual partners a young woman has in college, the more likely she is to be clinically depressed, on antidepressants, because sex for men is totally different than sex for women. Sex for women is emotional attachment, it is relational, it is not transactional, and is not purely physical. For whatever reason, the way men were designed and wired, sex, they could have sex with 9 people over 2 weeks and just like, okay, whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's completely different for young women. And so we have told young women through this hyper-feminist model, go act like men, and a lot of people end up severely depressed. The final thing I'll say is this, is that education is incredibly feminine in its approach and also in its staffing. 75% of teachers before 8th grade are women. Nothing against women teachers, but this is a truism of life. Young men don't like taking orders from women. I'm sorry, it's just a fact of life.
Yeah, that's
Young
true.
men need strong men to say, stop it, be better. And they will sit down and shut up when a man tells them. And so, and especially one that has their act together. So all that to say, we need more strong biblical men that have their act together to actually get involved in young men's lives. And women, for the love of everything holy and good, stop giving your body away to every man that wants it and save yourself for marriage. You are the supply of the problem. So it's both sides. If women were far more careful and pious with their sexual choices, men would follow. If all of a sudden the supply side of this equation would be like, actually, sorry, you have to date me seriously and get married to have sex with me. All of a sudden men would be like, well, I better get my act together. I better get a job. Men will react to the signal of sex quicker than women will. Because young men, especially 19, 20 years old, that's all they think about all day. Sports and sex, what they think about all day long. And for young women, they're like, what do you mean? Like, there's no way. Like, no, honestly, this is a hilarious true study. Harvard University put 20 men in a room alone, no phones, no TV, no newspapers. They stared at a wall. They put 20 women in a room. They asked the men, what did you think about? I think about sports and sex the entire time. Okay. They asked women, what did you think about? They said, oh, we were replaying conversations that we had earlier in the last couple of days. It is very rare that a man will ever repay a conversation in the history. Like, we're very forward thinking, and finally, we are very macro. Men are macro thinkers, women are micro thinkers. That is why if you sit down with somebody on campus that is a woman, she's probably talking about the grades in her class, her relationships, her friends, or things that people said to her. You sit down to a man on campus, he's talking about his crypto wallet, whether or not his DraftKings account is in the surplus or in a deficit, and whether or not, Donald Trump is going to take Greenland. The most macro thing imaginable. We are wired differently, and it's time for our educational system to reflect that. Thank you so much.
Also, can I get a hat?
Yes, you can. Thank you. Yes, next question.
Wow. I totally agree with Charlie on this. I don't think men are the problem we're having in the society. I believe men has a blame in this. Women also have a blame in this. The society we have right now, a lot of young boys growing up are easily influenced by what is happening right now in the society. A lot of them are finding it very difficult to be able to restrain themselves because right now they believe on instant gratification. Same thing with the female gender, same thing with women. A lot of women believe having sex with several sex partners is more like an achievement. And I, for one, I feel men have to learn to restrain themselves. Same thing goes for women. They also have to learn to restrain themselves. Let's check out some comments from people in America and people all over the world. The first comment we have here right now says, I have to add something to that woman. No matter how hard we try to act or think like men, we are not created that way. For whatever reason, God created us differently. It may not be fair, but they are just the fact. The sooner we accept that, the happier women be. I totally agree with this comment. Women are not like men. Men created women differently as compared to men. So the way men view sex is different from the way women view sex. As a woman, having sex is like giving a part of yourself, or giving some part of yourself away. Men don't view it that way. So I totally agree with what this comment is saying. Another comment, I am 52 years old. white male and a single father of two mixed daughters for the last 25 years. I divorced when the girls were only 2 and 3 and never got a dime for child support, and she hasn't been in our life for over 25 years. Now I am a traditionalist conservative and I am against BLM, and the far left I am also a 4S combat veteran. Wow. Wow, this is really shocking. He said he never got child support. You know, if the woman is to be taking care of the child, it's going to be a different ball game. You can't do a month without providing child support. You are going to end up in court. So we have another comment. I agree with Charlie. My dad used to have a saying that I have since passed on to my children. It goes, I don't want to hear sorry. I want to see you be better. I think that is what the society should be doing right now. People shouldn't just say sorry. Try to be better. Young men out there should strive to do something better. They should strive to better themselves instead of going for things that they will end up regretting. So we'd also like to hear your comments on Charlie Kirk view regarding this topic. Keep the comments coming. Don't forget, click on the subscribe button, click on the like button. Do have a nice day.